There was once an adorable girl who was loved by everyone who knew her, but mostly by her grandmother, and there was nothing left that she would not have given to the girl. Once she gave him a little cap or hat of a red color, which fit so well that she never wanted to wear anything else, so they started calling her Little Red Riding Hood. One day his mother said to him, "Come, Little Red Riding Hood, here I have a cake and a bottle of wine. Take them in this basket to your grandmother who is sick and weak, and this will help her." That warmed the day, and on the road, walk quietly and carefully, do not leave the road, do not fall and break the bottle, and there is nothing left for your grandmother, and when you enter your bedroom do not forget to tell good morning, and do not go snooping around the room. "Do not worry, I'll do everything right," said Little Red Riding Hood, and took the things and said goodbye affectionately. Grandma lived in the woods, about a kilometer from her house. And no more Red Riding Hood had entered the forest, always on the path, when he met a wolf. Little Red Riding Hood did not know that this creature could do any harm, and she had no fear of him. "Good morning, Little Red Riding Hood," said the wolf. "Good morning, kind wolf. Where are you going so early, Little Red Riding Hood?" "To my grandmother's house." "And what are you carrying in that basket?" "Pastel and wine. Yesterday was the day of baking, so my poor sick grandmother is going to have something good to strengthen herself." "And where does your grandmother live, Little Red Riding Hood?" "About half a kilometer farther into the forest. Your house is under 3 large oaks, next to some hazel trees. You probably have already seen them," Little Red Riding Hood replied innocently. The wolf said to himself silently, "What a tender creature, what a good treat. And it will be more tasty than that old lady, so I must act with delicacy to obtain both of them easily." He then accompanied Little Red Riding Hood on a small stretch of the road and then said, "Look, Little Red Riding Hood, what beautiful flowers are there. Why do not you go and pick up some of them, that you have not realized how sweet the little birds are singing? You're going so hard on the road, as if you were going to school, while the whole forest is full of wonders." Little Red Riding Hood raised her eyes, and when she saw the rays of the sun dancing here and there among the trees, and saw the beautiful flowers and the song of the birds, she thought, "I suppose I could take one of these fresh flowers. My grandmother will love it, and it's still very early, and there will be no problem. If I get a little late, I'll always arrive at a good time." And so, she went off the road and went to cut flowers. "And when I cut one, I saw another more beautiful, and another, and without realizing it went into the forest." Meanwhile the wolf took advantage of the time and ran straight to Grandma's house and knocked on the door. "Who is it?" Granny asked. "Little Red Riding Hood," the wolf replied. "I bring cake and wine. Please, please, move the lock and open it," yelled the grandmother. "I'm very weak, and I cannot get up." The wolf moved the lock, opened the door, and without saying another word, went straight to Granny's bed and swallowed it. And immediately he put on her clothes, put on a hat, got into bed, and closed the curtains. Meanwhile, Little Red Riding Hood had been collecting flowers, and when she saw that she had so many that she could no longer carry, she remembered her grandmother and set off towards her. When she arrived, she was surprised to find the door open, and upon entering the house, she felt so strange a foreboding that she said to herself, "Oh God, how uncomfortable I feel today, and other times that I liked it so much to be with Grandma." Then he shouted, "Good morning," but there was no answer, so he went to the bedroom and opened the curtains. There seemed to be the grandmother with her cap covering her face and with a very strange appearance. "Oh, Grandma," he said, "what big ears you have." "It's to hear you better, my girl," was the answer. "But Grandma, what big eyes you have." "They are to see you better, dear." "But Grandma, what big arms you have." "To embrace you better." "And what a big mouth you have." "To eat you better." And he had not finished saying the above when with a jump he got out of bed and swallowed Red Riding Hood too. Then the wolf decided to take a nap and threw himself back on the bed, and once he was asleep he began to snore loudly. A hunter who happened to be passing by at that moment heard the loud snores and thought, "How that old woman snores. I'll see if you need any help." Then he entered the bedroom, and when he approached the bed he saw the wolf lying there. "So I find you here, old sinner," said he. "I've been looking for you for a while." And he was about to shoot his weapon at him when he thought the wolf might have devoured the old woman and still be saved, so he decided not to shoot. Instead he took a pair of scissors and began to cut the belly of the sleeping wolf. As soon as he had made 2 cuts, he saw a red cap shined, then made 2 more cuts and the little Red Riding Hood came out quickly, shouting, "How scared I was, how dark that is inside the wolf," and immediately left the grandmother, alive but could hardly breathe. Quickly, little Red Riding Hood brought many stones with which filled the belly of the wolf. And when the wolf awoke, he wanted to run and go away, but the stones were so heavy that he could not stand the effort and fell dead. The 3 people felt happy. The hunter took the skin of the wolf and took it home. Granny ate the cake and drank the wine brought to her by Little Red Riding Hood and was revived. But Little Red Riding Hood only thought, "As long as I live, I will never retreat from the path to enter the forest, which my mother had already forbidden me to do."